Bonjour, French 1 students. Here is your teaching video for Lesson 12, Parts C and D, pages 177 to 179 in your textbook. We're going to start with a little review. Again, adjectives are particularly important. Remember that adjectives describe nouns. And remember that all nouns in French are either masculine or feminine. So as a result, our adjectives have to agree in gender and number with our noun that they're describing. The regular adjectives go after the noun they describe. Again, the form of the adjective that you find on any kind of list is going to be the masculine singular form. To make it feminine, you're going to add an E. To make it masculine and plural, you're going to add an S. Oops. And to make it masculine or feminine and plural, you add an ES. And again, you don't always do that, right? Masculine singular, if it ends in an S, you don't add an S to it to make it plural. Add a feminine masculine singular that already ends in an E, like sympathique, you don't add an E to it to make it feminine. So for example, remember the colors were sort of new adjectives in this lesson. So if you want to say that we have a gray scooter, it'd be un scooter gris. If I want to say that I have a gray motorcycle, it'd be une moto grise. Okay? And again, our adjective comes after our noun. If I want to say I have some gray scooters, be des scooters gris. And again, that's that example of one that already ends in an S, so I don't add an S to it to make it feminine or to make it plural. And if I want to have some gray motorcycles, I have to add that ES. So, regular adjectives, again, adjectives that describe nouns, they have to agree in gender and number with the noun they describe. In this lesson, what was new was the bags adjectives. They're still describing words. The difference is where they go with respect to the noun, because they go between the article and the noun. And there were 9 of them total. Bags is our way to remember them. B stands for beauty, and the beauty ones are jolie. And then beau, which the feminine form is belle. A stands for age, and the one you're using is jeune. The 2 that you can't use yet are nouveau, which means new, and vieux, which means old. G stood for goodness, so that was bon, and the feminine one is bon with a double N-E, and mauvais. And then S was size, so this was petit and grand. So if instead I use small, like a small motorcycle, then it would be une petite, still with an E because we still have to make it agree, but moto. A small scooter would be un petit scooter. Some small scooters would be des petits with an S scooter. And then finally, some small motorcycles would be des petites with an ES because the motorcycle is feminine and plural here. So again, that's kind of a review. We've talked about it quite a few times, but adjectives are really important because you use them all the time in English and you also use them all the time in French. New in this lesson, s'il vous plaît, ouvrez vos livres à la page 177. Il est ou c'est. So in French, there are 2 ways to say it's. And which way you decide to say it depends on what comes next in the sentence. So when describing a person or thing, French speakers use two different constructions, il est, elle est, and c'est. You use il est or elle est when the only other thing in your sentence is an adjective, so a describing word. You use say anytime that there's a noun. And remember, part of how you're going to know there's a noun is you're going to have an un or an un. Okay? Those are kind of your clues that you have a noun in your sentence. So when we're talking about Roger and we want to say he is, il est amusant, c'est un copain amusant. The second one is here to show you that as long as I have a noun in it, I have to use say. Even though there's also an adjective in this sentence, I only use the il est when there's only an adjective in the sentence. So we have Véronique, elle est sportive, c'est une amie, c'est une bonne amie. Now we're talking about un scooter, and so it is. So il est joli, c'est un scooter français, c'est un bon scooter. And about a car, une voiture, elle est petite, c'est une voiture anglaise, c'est une petite voiture. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez il est, c'est, il est amusant, c'est un copain amusant. Elle est sportive, c'est une amie, c'est une bonne amie. Il est joli, c'est un scooter français, c'est un bon scooter. Elle est petite, c'est une voiture anglaise, c'est une petite voiture. So working through the translation on this, right, we have he is fun, he's a friend, he's a fun friend. She is athletic, she's a friend, she's a good friend. It is pretty, it's a French scooter, it's a good scooter. She is small, actually it is small. It's an English car, it's a small car. So note the corresponding plural forms. So we have plural forms of these. So again, remember we're using the verb être here, which means to be. That was the very first verb you learned in French. One, because it's the most commonly used verb in both French and English, right? And the forms of être are je suis, tu es, il or elle, which is what we saw just a moment ago. Il or elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes. And then remember the plurals are il or elle pluriel, sont. So what we're seeing here is the plural for il or elle pluriel is sont. And then say becomes se sont. So the reason that say is because it really was supposed to be C-E-N-E-S-T. But again, this is that little word in French that loses its E and gets the apostrophe when it's followed by a vowel or a silent H. So when it becomes plural, it becomes se sont. S'il vous plaît, répétez. Ils sont amusants. Ce sont des copains. Elles sont timides. Ce sont des copines. So they are fun. They are some friends. They are shy. They are some female friends. In negative sentence, say becomes ce n'est pas, right? And if I have a negative here, right, I put my ne and my pas around my verb, and my verb is sont or est. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez, ce n'est pas un mauvais élève. Ce n'est pas un Peugeot. Say is also used with the names of the people, which should make sense, right? Because a person is a noun. And so we use say for that. So, s'il vous plaît, répétez, c'est Véronique. C'est Madame Lambert. So again, say and ce sont two different ways to say it is. So I'm going to use say or ce sont or ce n'est pas or ce ne sont pas with nouns. Have a noun in my sentence. I'm going to use il or elle, a, or il or elle sont, or il or elle n'est pas, or il or elle ne sont pas. Okay, so I'm going to use these when I have an adjective, a describing word, and that's the only word in my sentence. So looking at this exercise, exercise 6, description, complete the following descriptions with il, a, elle, or say as appropriate. So, okay, I'd like this one to be a speaking one. And again, what you're looking at is, right, the only time I'm going to use say is when I'm going to have an article. So there should be an un or an un in my sentence. Then I'm going to use say. Otherwise, I'm going to use il, a, or elle. So, talking about Roger, numéro 1. Il est grand. Numéro 2. Il est bon. Numéro 3. C'est un garçon sympathique. Numéro 4. C'est un mauvais élève. B, talking about Véronique. 5. C'est une fille brune. 6. C'est une amie sympathique. 7. Elle est très amusante. 8. Elle est assez grande. C'est la voiture de Roger. So now we're talking about Roger's car. 9. C'est une voiture moderne. 10. C'est une petite voiture. 11. Elle est rouge. 12. Elle est très rapide. In part D, le scooter de Véronique. So we're talking about Veronica's scooter. So we have il est bleu et blanc. 14. Il est très économique. 15. C'est un joli scooter. 16. Il est assez confortable. And part D, les expressions impersonnelles avec c'est. Note the use of say in the following sentences. J'aime parler français, c'est intéressant. Je n'aime pas travailler le week-end, ce n'est pas amusant. So to express an opinion on a general topic, French speakers use the construction c'est or ce n'est pas and a masculine adjective. So this yellow box here gives some words that you might use in this sense. S'il vous plaît, répétez c'est, ce n'est pas, ce n'est pas, ce n'est pas, vrai, vrai, faux, faux, facile, facile, difficile, difficile, chouette, chouette, super, super, génial, génial, pénible, pénible, drôle, drôle. To express an opinion, French speakers also use adverbs like bien and mal. Si vous plaît, répétez c'est bien, c'est bien. To étudier, c'est bien. C'est mal, c'est mal. Elle n'étudie pas, c'est mal. Working through that translation, right? Are you studying? That's good. Alan doesn't study. That's bad. So take a look at exercise 7, vrai ou faux. Imagine that your little sister is talking about where certain cities are located. Tell her whether her statements are right or wrong. So this map on this page, the map on this page is to help you with identifying whether she's correct or not. So Miami est en Californie. So Miami is in California and it's not. So it's c'est faux. Miami est en Floride. C'est vrai. So all of your answers are either going to be c'est vrai if it's correct, or c'est faux if it's incorrect. So numéro 1, Paris est en Italie. C'est faux. Paris est en France. 2, Los Angeles est en Californie. C'est vrai. Numéro 3, Genève est en Italie. C'est faux. Genève est en Suisse. 4, Dakar est en Afrique. C'est vrai. 5, Fort-de-France est au Canada. C'est faux. Fort-de-France est à la Martinique. 6, Québec est en France. C'est faux. Québec est au Canada. 7, Port-au-Prince est en Haïti. C'est vrai. 8, Montréal est au Canada. C'est vrai. Lastly, we have the pronunciation. Les lettres CH. The letter CH are usually pronounced like the English sh. So anytime you see a CH, it's going to make an sh sound in English, like in English. S'il vous plaît, répétez chienne, chat, chose, marche, chouette, chocolat, affiche, Michel a un chat et deux chiens. And this sentence is saying Michelle has a cat and 2 dogs. So your homework is to do on page 177, exercise 6. I do want you to write the whole sentence. So again, remember you're putting either il a or la in the blank if all you have in the sentence is an adjective, and you're putting say in the blank if you have a noun, so if you have an un or an un in your sentence. So for number 1, there's just an adjective, so this would be il a, and it's il a because we're talking about Roger. For number 5, we have an article, so we know that this is a noun, so this is say. In number 9, again, we have a noun, so it's say. And in letter D, le scooter de Véronique, we only have adjectives, and a scooter is masculine, so this one would be il a. So you're writing out those whole sentences. So for number 1, you'd have to write on your paper, il est grand. So that's what you're writing out for this homework assignment. Au revoir. À demain.